This video is going to be a bit different than my other videos. I need to get this off my chest. I hate the idea of the Christian afterlife, of heaven, purgatory, and hell. I think it is one of the harshest ideas of Christianity and is so diabolically cruel. Reminder that I am human, not everything in my videos is perfect, I might get some facts wrong or it might come off as overgeneralizing, but please remember the context, that this is my opinion based off of what I have studied, and my experiences coming from a heavily religious area and have experienced many different denominations. Lastly, please hit that subscribe button and you can see all the new videos that I publish. First, what is heaven, purgatory, and hell? Heaven is commonly referred to as an ethereal place where gods, angels, and the blessed dead reside in. Purgatory is debated among Christian denominations if it exists or not, but those who do believe in it define it as an intermediate place that sinners not close enough to God have to purge their sins to get close enough to God to get into heaven. This is a more optional belief that Catholics believe in. Lastly, to Christians, hell is the place where sinners and non-believers go in the afterlife. It is either eternal torture with everlasting lakes of fire and or complete annihilation of being. Not to sound too arrogant, however, as an atheist, I think none of this exists. It's using an area we know nothing about, the afterlife, to manipulate us into thinking we need Christianity so we won't go to hell. This mentality and idea of the afterlife always bothered me, for many reasons, and I want to talk about this. After going to pride parades, being near Christians in public, and reading theology books, the idea of hell is everywhere, and I need to talk about it and tear down this ludicrous idea that has pained me and many others for a long time. Pascal's wager is the belief where Christians will be fine if they are wrong and God doesn't exist, but if atheists are wrong, they will have hell. At first, this makes sense, but then you realize there's a fuck ton of other religions. I want to cover this in another video, but how do you know your religion is the true one other than it said so or it revealed itself to me? People in every other religion say the same thing about theirs. Pascal's wager only works if there is two choices, atheism and Christianity. But in reality, there's unlimited choices. Wiccanism, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, Sikhism, Zoroastrianism, native religions, and even other sects of Christianity that aren't compatible. I'll get into that a bit later. But how likely is it that it's any of these? I mean, hell, Norse and Greek mythology were popular ones. What's stopping them from being considered? How is it possible to look at all these religions, say the majority is man-made and fake, except yours, that only yours will bring you to heaven? Also, how is only your denomination of Christianity true? Not only just Christianity is true, but one specific denomination. It could be Adventist, Pentecostal, Catholic, Baptist, Orthodox, Reform, Lutheran. Only one, goddamn one of these, will be the true version of Christianity, and all others might get into heaven or not at all, depending on the denomination. Hell is endless torture. People who go to hell are people who do not have the grace of God, so sinners and non-believers mostly go. I've seen Christians say that people who kill, steal, lie, and those who do homosexual acts will all burn in hell. Those are widely unequal acts. Life is more complicated than how the Bible shows it. Sometimes stealing and lying is a necessary evil. Living your life as someone in the queer community harms no one other than those who are offended by it, just because the book told them to be offended by it. Sometimes killing in self-defense is necessary. What about soldiers? Soldiers are okay to go to heaven despite the 10 Commandments saying, "Thou shalt not kill," but not kind gay lovers. And the sentence for all these people is an eternity of painful torture. Non-ending, forever eternal punishment for a finite action. God is not conditional love. God only loving you if you love and accept Him is not conditional love. If you must meet conditions for Him to love you, He does not love you unconditionally. So many Christians say that this is unconditional love. How can a God love you so much that if you don't love Him, He will have you tortured forever? Unending torture. That's a threat, not love. The God of the Bible is a jealous God. He wants worship for Himself, and no matter what good things you do, if you don't believe in Him, you will suffer the same fate as a murderer. You can be a Christian and sin as much as you want and you will have heaven, but if you help the homeless as an atheist, you will still end up in a lake of fire. Christianity isn't about kindness, it's about worship and obedience to a God who craves attention. Even if you don't go to hell, heaven can't be happiness. I've seen many Christians revel in the fact that people will later burn in hell for being mean to them or living a specific lifestyle. Would you be able to live in peace knowing that anyone not in heaven is being tortured? It's a confirmation bias to make believers feel good and better than others and give them a reward. But wouldn't a kind Christian want to go there to help them, like a sort of missionary trip? The answer is no, because they can't encourage people in hell to be Christian, because they can't be Christian when they aren't alive to participate in the worldly churches anymore, because heaven probably doesn't exist. Christianity wants worldly participation because, like atheists, they don't know what happens after death. They just want to use it to scare and control people into participating when it matters. Also, what would you do in heaven? After the first 200 years, what would you do? What about the next 400 years? It would not be happiness. It would be eternal and unending. It wouldn't be fun. It would just be boring. I've said this before, but hell is a manipulation tactic used to frighten others. It's to control people into doing what the ruling class wants and expects them to do. That's what the original context of the Ten Commandments was, because worldly punishments go away, but a terrifying idea of what happens in the unknown, that will stick with you. With Moses planning on starting a nation, he needed control and power, and a loyal myth can be the most powerful of all doctrines. The idea of hell also helps to make people feel guilty and always watched, constantly nagging in the back of your head that fear keeps people believing. Always feeling that God is judging you makes you want to be a participating Christian and causes anxiety and panic. It causes obedience. Heaven is an ethnostate, no different than Auschwitz. Nazi Germany wanted a state where only one type of group lived in peace and all other races were dead and in pain. In what way is that different than heaven and hell? Heaven is an ethnostate. In conclusion, I find the idea of the Christian afterlife controlling and insatiably cruel. Lately, I've been dealing with this idea a lot and wanted to cathartically put all this into a philosophical video talking about it and get my piece on it and potentially helping any newer or older atheist deal and cope with escaping from religion's crutches and fears. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you liked it. My next video is going to be a fun video, I promise, covering a truly important piece of art in my life, Bionicle.